So do you really think that the entities who stole my emerald tablets would release the truth? Right? Like, that's a point of why I have tablet talks, because they're very obviously, clearly not doing that. That they would not go through the effort of stealing all the wisdom that I gave to indigenous peoples if they were just going to give it back out. So when you were looking at the emerald tablets, they are so full of lies. Like, they're full of many, many lies. And it's like weird how deep the lies go, because it's basically like with English, they can just say whatever they want. And what it is that they just get to use the truth to say whatever they want. They get to weaponize the fact that this thing is real to then lie. So now everyone who knows that the thing is real, and everyone who like historically can correlate it and spiritually correlate it and be like, yeah, like, see, this system came from here. Well, guess what? They got you by having it in the same language anyway. Because the point of the language spreading was to push this agenda that we're all part of one God. And that we're not individuals. And the core root of Hermeticism is that you are God when you're alone. You are God. You are an infinite creator. And it takes you being somatic, creating a circumstance that you can't control, to be able to communicate your individuality to all of us. Simple. Man. This is, it just gets so deep. So, the Emerald Tablets, basically me writing all about this. Alchemy, the laws, light, spirits, vibrating at a certain frequency to create energy, which is light. And by doing that, they then create matter, which allows them to build the structures that we then use to experience ourselves. That's what the Emerald Tablets are about. And then it's all the science and everything related with that. It's just a shame that, like, we're in this state. But I mean, this is the natural progression. So this is the point. Symmetrism. As symmetry, I'm here, the indigenous interdimensional superhero, recording things throughout time, knowing that I cannot stop people from doing what they want to do. All I can do is control myself even greater. Right? Because, I mean, as a spirit, I know when I step out of my space, everything outside of me is a reflection of me. So if I'm having a problem with how things outside of me are going, it's because then I would have to create and communicate in a different way. Now, of course, Symmetrism, the point is, when you're riding a vibe with a bunch of other spirits, you're all relating on reacting and being, being connected to the same things. So, for example, we all have bills. We all have be-ills. So everyone is dealing with the stress, quote-unquote everyone. Everyone, quote-unquote everyone, is dealing with the stress of having to pay bills and having to serve the system that tells them that they need money to live in land that the system used money to steal from people that would have let you live free on said land if you were born in a different time. If you were born in our Hermetic time, we would have welcomed you, it would have been lit. But here it's the opposite. They stole Hermes, Caduceus. They stole Hermes' emerald tablets so that they could use numbers to enslave you and trap your mind and make you do all these things that only build their world in exchange for something that only builds their world. Literally. It's remarkable. The witchcraft, the emotional manipulation, and yeah, just how then dumbed down all these spirits are. So everyone's scared of death because they believe they're the body. And then when the entities are telling you that they can kill you if you don't make them money, and then you're like, how do I make you money? And then they're like, you just do what we tell you to do. It's like, what? Now you're just a slave, right? Here you are. This is slavery, obviously. It's like, then obvious it's slavery, but the whole thing is that people don't feel good if they know that they're enslaved, because then they don't feel like they would be able to support it. But that's the whole thing with colonizing convenience, and how the more spirits fall into what's convenient, the more they basically just get colonized by whoever provided said convenience, right? So anytime you're just like, yeah, I'll just eat something from the vending machine, and then you're just like, yeah, every time I'll just eat something from the vending machine, whoever made that food in the vending machine now gets to change your body and morph your microbiome and reformat how your body's communicating internally based on whatever food they're putting inside the machine. So this is why the world wants us to eat all day, every day, just so much on repeat, because it's about colonizing our machine so that our body is infinitely more reliant on the external world than our internal world. So our body is all reliant on things outside of ourselves, and then we keep getting poisoned, instead of our spirit, which is what actually allows us to be free. Again, spirit is freedom, the soul is chaos. So when we think about fasting, fasting is you getting into the true free state. The thing is, fasting is hard, so join our online courses. Fasting is hard because of all the connections that you've made up to that point, and your soul. So all the connections that you've made up to that point are thus physical representations of things that fill up your soul, things that make you feel good when you bring them inside of you. When you bring this idea, right, that R, when you bring that 1 into your 8, you like it because this is your perspective. Your perspective is that you get inserted, your soul is inserted by this food or this drug or this idea or this substance, this energy. And that is who you are as a 9-dimensional being. Right? So fasting challenges that, because fasting is like, yeah, but what if you just ate nothing at all though? And what if you went back to being truly free, instead of thinking that you have to eat or consume other things that you didn't used to consume? There was a time where you didn't consume these things. So clearly you don't need it. It's just then that soul, it's that chaos. Because the moment you connect too deeply with something, it then allows you to be consumed by that thing, right? So now you're not consuming food. Food is consuming you. Now you're not consuming drugs. Drugs are consuming you. All because you as a spirit didn't realize that you were actually creating the opportunity to consume something. Because you felt like you were actually the body and like you needed to consume, you're now lost in your soul. You're lost in your chaotic emotions. You're lost in your own water, and you're polarized inside of all the connections that you have made with yourself and that you've used your body to make up to that point. And this is what it's like being just all drowning in one's emotions or messed up in one's mind, to have a lot of anxiety and stress. It's all about people, spirits, reacting to their own connections, reacting to their soul. This is what chaos in the whole universe is, because the whole universe is chaos. So notice water, chaos, earth, order. And really, earth is structure. One could say that fire is order, because fire is the imagination that is creating the earth, that then that earth is supporting the fire, and then it gets turned into metal over time and becomes harder and more stable and cuts through the universe better. Your soul being water, the universe being water, all of us, the moment we feel like connecting with each other, it's just straight up chaos. So this is why all life is water based. Everything is cyclical because chaos is cyclical. The spirit is a circle the moment it connects with itself. The spirit's nothing, but when it connects with itself, it's a circle, if anything. And that's what the soul is. And then from there, one would be like, okay, and then the mind is the triangle and the body is the square. And we create our soul with our minds. And so then that's where everything is fractals in that way, because triangles is us as spirits using light to try angles. We are constantly trying angles to create something new. And try is then the 3, because that's just how we create with 3, with the C. By combining our polarity, and that expresses us, and the fact we can observe it means it's simultaneously 3, and then it becomes 4 as we stabilize it, and boom, it becomes a 5 cycle reality, and then that all expresses how we have 6, how we have sex. And then that's how we then use how we have sex to consciously separate ourselves, and that in and of itself allows us to learn more about our subconscious, so that we can connect more deeply with our unconscious. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the Emerald Tablet's all about like math, just everything. Everything. Straight up communication. How spirits architect reality. So everything that we talk about in Always Ascending Academy, at chaseyourgenes.com, in the Ultimate Functional Fast, in Decolonize Your Face, in all of our schooling, all of our online schooling, in the other courses that I am bound to make, in all of our communications. I am naturally talking about what I wrote about in the Emerald Tablets almost all the time, because that's the point of me writing the Emerald Tablets. I inscribe my mind in a way that allows me to leave the value, so I do not have to be there speaking it all the time. Now, of course, it looks like this, where the tablets have been stolen and whitewashed with the language, and no one knows the truth but me. So it takes me being here, recording this in this new age with the language that was used to erase my truth, for everyone who is in emotional, energetic resonance to tap in. Here we are. It's lit. And life continues, bro. Yes, we will play this song on and on. So, self-love is essential. Knowing that you are a spirit expressing yourself, thus you have to want yourself fully before anyone can fully want you. And you have to find yourself attractive before anyone can truly find you attractive. And that's the esoteric sexy meaning, the sexy kundalini meaning behind the caduceus. And taking your serpent to not have sex with others, but have sex with yourself, to create the tree that then creates the garden that now has other snakes slithering into your garden. And now all these snakes are slithering into your garden, coming into your tree, and you actually have to build up barriers and boundaries, because now your garden is so beautiful, it's so aromatic, it's so fragrant. You have such a thriving garden, such a thriving, esoteric, beautiful soul, that now all these snakes want to slither on in. Man, if that's not the perfect analogy for how I've gotten into all these weird, wild situations at comic conventions as Chase, way before realizing I was Hermes, and dealing with those groups and just those cults of girls, all those sex witches, demons. Man, Yeah, it's literally that. Like, because that's just inevitable. Like, the more you connect with yourself, the more others are going to want to connect with you. That's how indigenous peoples, how we built Teotihuacan, made the Americas, and then had it stolen from us. Tehuti and Anubis came here, set up America, and then colonizing Europeans hated their old world. They hated being alone with themselves. They hated connecting with each other. So they needed to go way out of their way to create logic that allowed them to connect with indigenous peoples that they then steal the creations of and somehow say that we ourselves are actually the evil ones. It's like, it's just, again, like that, like that's a definition of hell, because it's boggling my mind. It just boggles my mind how you could be so chaotic. But that's the point of just like spirits using logic to do what they want, and like projection being perception. And when people are like projecting that onto you, like, you're evil, so we're gonna kill you before you do evil things to us. It's like, whoa, hold up, colonizer. You are lost in your fire element right now. You need to chill out. But that's not who they are. That's not what they want to do. So this is literally how us indigenous peoples have gotten our land stolen, gotten our bodies stolen, gotten our family stolen, have had our creation stolen, is because we connect with ourselves. We're sexy. We use our caduceus. We wrap our serpents around our own spine and raise our own kundalinis to the point where other spirits feel like the only way they can be happy is if they colonize our land, if they consume our attention, if they eat our fruit, eat our seeds, eat our children. That is why the emerald tablets have been stolen from Egypt, Mesoamerica, and a few other places in the world. Just in general, this is why the emerald tablets of Hermes Trismegistus and Thoth the Atlantean are used to enslave spirits instead of liberate them. Catch you next time.